Namaskar. I am Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today is the Kargil Vijay Divas, the successful operation of Vijay, already done by the army. Really, it's a proud day for every Bharatiya, every Indian, for us, for our country. And always, as I said, the interest of country is always supreme. Selfless country more. That is and that should be. This is the truth of life. This should be truth of life of every nationalist of our Bharat, Hindustan, Aryavat, whatever you call. But I like the Bharat. The two names should not be India. That is a Bharat, not Bharat, not India. Only Bharat. This is the only country in the world, as I know it. So today, just you see our president of Bharat, vice president, and uh, prime minister already greeted on the eve of the Kargil Vijay Divas, very important day for every Indian in our life, for our country. Just to see the masses, greetings, how the martyrs did it for our country. I salute to them all. More than 550 Jawans already martyred on that day, and more than 1,400 were injured. But a very successful operation after the uh, breaching the all contract and the words by the Pakistanis and Pakistan army. So just to see the masses, how just you you see the masses of president and दिस इज द्रौपदी मुर्मू करगिल की विजय दिवस हमारे सशस्त्र बलों की असाधारण वीरता पराक्रम और दृढ़ संकल्प का प्रतीक है। भारत माता की रक्षा के लिए अपने प्राण निछावर करने वाले सभी वीर सैनिकों को मैं नमन करती हूँ। सभी देशवासी उनके और परिवारजनों के प्रति सदैव ऋणी रहेंगे। जय हिंद। आई एम एडिंग जय भारत। एंड वाइस प्रेसिडेंट जो है उपराष्ट्रपति, आई थिंक अंतिम मैसेज होगा इनका देश के नाम। उपराष्ट्रपति वेंकैया नायडू जी आज कारगिल दिवस विजय दिवस के अवसर पे उन दुर्गम चोटियों पर मातृभूमि की रक्षा करने वाले युवा योद्धाओं के शौर्य और उनके बलिदान का कृतज्ञता पूर्वक स्मरण करता हूँ। उनके परिजनों के धैर्य को प्रणाम करता हूँ। और हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई का जो मैसेज है ये भी आप देखिए, ये भी एक ऐतिहासिक है। ये देखें तो करगिल विजय दिवस माँ भारती की आन बान और शान का प्रतीक है। इस अवसर पर मातृभूमि की रक्षा में पराक्रम की पराकाष्ठा करने वाले देश के सभी साहसी सपूतों को मेरा सशक्त नमन। जय हिंद। साथ साथ उनके just for them I'll reading some poem also, a very nice poem written by the very who loves country like that. So I am just trying to read just to paint tributes and salute to the all army personnel who just dedicated their life for the interest of our the great nation Bharat. करो याद उन वीरों की जिनकी सरहद पे जान गई, करो याद उन बालाओं को जिनकी इस रण में आन गई, करो याद उन माताओं को जिनके अपने प्रिय सुत खोए, करो याद उन बहनों को जो रक्षाबंधन पर से लहू बहाकर सीमाओं पर अमन चैन का फूल खिलाया, अपने प्राणों की बलि देकर भारत माँ का मान बढ़ाया। सरहद पर मिटने वाले अजर अमर सब हो जाएंगे, मर कर भी हम वीरों का हम कैसे कर चुका पाएंगे, जो अपने घर को सूना छोड़ करके हमारे लिए आपके लिए जो उन्होंने अपने को नुशावर कर दिया, डेडिकेटेड लाइफ। एंड फोर मोर लाइन्स फॉर देम। है नमन उनको ये जो स्काई को अमृत देकर इस जगत के शौर्य की जीवित कहानी हो गए हैं। है नमन उनको जिनके सामने बौना हिमालय जो धरा पर गिर पड़े आसमानी हो गए हैं। Actually, I am reading the couplets in Hindi because that is a meaning already communicated in Hindi and should be an impact. And so not reading any English poem, but Actually, this is our mother tongue also. This is our national language also. This is the language of Bharat also. That is Hindi, the most popular language in the world. So, just you see, I'm talking about the Kargil Vijay દિવસ, the comrade 26th July in India, to observe Bharat victory over Pakistan in Kargil war for ousting Pakistani forces from their illegally, illegally occupied position on the mountain tops of northern Kargil district in Ladakh in 99. I know all the side and stories that time Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the prime minister. So recently, Pakistani army denied their involvement in the war, claiming it was caused by the Kashmiri militant forces. However, document left behind by casualties, testimony of POWs, and latest statement by the Prime Minister of Pakistan Nawaz Sharif and the Pakistan Army Chief Staff Pervez Musharraf showed the involvement of Pakistani paramilitary forces led by General Ashraf Rashid. And that time, there was a Lahore visit also by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So that was really betrayed by the Pakistan and Pakistani armies. And Nawaz Sharif was feeling this helpless that time. As I know, Muhammad Aziz was the foreign minister. So Kargil Vijay દિવસ celebrated on 26 July every year in honor of the Kargil war heroes. This day is celebrated all over Bharat and the national capital, New Delhi, where the Prime Minister of Bharat pays homage to soldiers at Amar Jawan Jyoti as the India Gate, that's what we call the Bharat Dwar. Every year, functions are also organized all over country to commemorate the contribution of Bharatiya armed forces. And if you see the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971, there were a long period of the relatively few direct armed conflicts involving the military forces of the two neighbors, notwithstanding the efforts of the both nations to control the Siachen Glacier by establishing military outposts on the surrounding mountains regions and the resulting military exclusives in the 1980s. During the 1990s, however, the escalating tension and conflicts due to the separatist activities in Kashmir, as well as the conducting the nuclear test by the both countries in 1998, led to increasingly belligerent atmosphere. So, in attempt to defuse the situation, both countries signed the Lahore Declaration in February 1999, promising to provide a peaceful and bilateral solution on the Kashmir conflict. During the winter of 98-99, some elements of Pakistani armed forces were covertly training and sending Pakistani troops and paramilitary forces into territory of the Indian side of the line of control. The infiltration was codenamed the Operation Badri. The aim of Pakistan incursion was sever the link between the Kashmir and Ladakh and cause Bharatiya forces to withdraw from the Siachen Glacier, thus forcing Bharat to negotiate a settlement on the broader Kashmir dispute. Pakistan also believed that any tension of the region would internationalize the Kashmiris. So always trying now, still they are trying and they are already failed. All manners, all the narratives. Actually, as you know, already before 2019, it was a part of the parliamentary resolution. All political parties united on the issues of Jammu Kashmir, and the Jammu Kashmir was the integral part of India and will be the integral part of India. So that time Pakistan could not succeed and tried to increase the tension. After that, they tried to provoke and filtrate with little knowledge of nature or extent of infiltration. The Bharatiya troops in the area assumed that the infiltrators were jihadis and declared they would evict them within a few days. Subsequent discovery of infiltration elsewhere, along with LOC, along with all differences in tactics employed by the infiltrators, caused by the Bharatiya army to realize the plan of attack was a much bigger scale. And after that, more than 2 lakhs Bharatiya troops were deployed, and after that on came in the official in to just out eviction of the Pakistani army troops from the occupied position, and thus making it the Kargil Vijay Divas. It is said about more than 500 soldiers of Bharatiya armed forces lost and more than 1,400 injured also. And 26 July, we just succeeded and posted our flag on that point, that Kargil point. And that is a short story of the Kargil Vijay Divas and how Pakistan defeated. Pakistan defeated many times since independence. How their forces, if you say the one of the founder of the Pakistan People's Party and a member of Pakistan Lahore Assembly, Professor Hanif Rame, if I recall his name, yeah, he was a founder of Pakistan People's Party and a friend of Mr. Bhutto, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. He also said in an interview in 1994 to me. That time he blamed USA. USA just tried to make the Jammu Kashmir the buffer state and all keep an eye on Bharat and Pakistan. So involvement of how the big countries tried. But now situation has changed now. All countries and all different countries an eye on the Bharat, how Bharat is growing, how in the leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, and growing like anything. And last 2 years in pandemic 2021, whatever Bharat has played a very significant role to save the lives of more than 100 countries and distributed free vaccines. And after that, more countries can buy, they already buy like that. So that is important like that. So we can understand how our the theory and the philosophy of our country, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, how we already did it in the leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, as we know it, as we have did it. If you remember before 2014, if only polio vaccine, we are the last one countries out of own. So I think we should do or not, that is depend on. So this is also important, and so we can understand like anything. So we just pay homage to the all martyrs of the Kargil Vijay Divas. Just some clips I'll show you how our Prime Minister and how the President speaks, and after the break, time of break, and after that we'll talk about the parliamentary disruption. Thank you very much. Just you see the clips on the Kargil, just you will see the happy when you understand how our prime ministers think about that, the country think about that. Just see the clips and enjoy for and feel just like the pride of our nation.
आज 26 जुलाई है और आज का दिन बहुत खास है। आज के ही दिन कारगिल के युद्ध में हमारी सेना ने भारत की जीत का झंडा फहराया।
You can understand the voice of our Prime Minister.
आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर बैठा हुआ दुश्मन और नीचे से लड़ रही हमारी सेना, हमारे वीर जवान। लेकिन जीत पहाड़ की ऊंचाई की नहीं, भारत की सेनाओं के ऊंचे हौसले और सच्ची वीरता की।
इतनी ऊंचाइयों पर विजय पाना मात्र गगनचुंबी चोटियों को फतेह करना नहीं है, ये देश की समूची शक्ति को दर्शाता है, हमारी सेनाओं के शौर्य का प्रतीक है।
युद्ध सरकारें नहीं लड़ती, युद्ध पूरा देश लड़ता है। सरकारें आती जाती रहती हैं, लेकिन देश के लिए जो जीने और मरने की परवाह नहीं करते, वो अजर अमर होते हैं। सैनिक आज के साथ ही आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए अपना जीवन बलिदान करते हैं। हमारी आने वाली कल सुरक्षित रहे, उसलिए वो अपनी आज स्वाहा कर देता है। सैनिक जिंदगी और मौत में भेद नहीं, उनके लिए तो कर्तव्य ही सब कुछ होता है। कारगिल में विजय भारत के वीर बेटे बेटियों के अदम्य साहस की जीत थी। कारगिल में विजय भारत के संकल्पों की जीत थी। कारगिल में विजय भारत के सामर्थ्य और संयम की जीत थी। कारगिल में विजय भारत की मर्यादा और अनुशासन की जीत थी। कारगिल में विजय प्रत्येक देशवासी की उम्मीदों और कर्तव्य परायणता की जीत थी।
साथियों,
Just
कारगिल युद्ध के समय अटल जी ने लाल किले से जो कहा
you
था,
can see there's just
आज भी
narration by our Prime
हम
Minister.
सभी के लिए बहुत प्रासंगिक है। अटल जी ने तब देश को गांधी जी के एक मंत्र की याद दिलाई थी।
उन्होंने कहा था कि यदि कोई दुविधा हो कि तुम्हें क्या करना है, तो तुम भारत के उस सबसे असहाय व्यक्ति के बारे में सोचो और स्वयं से पूछो कि क्या तुम जो करने जा रहे हो उससे उस व्यक्ति की भलाई होगी।
गांधी जी के इस विचार से आगे बढ़कर अटल जी ने कहा था कि करगिल युद्ध ने हमें एक दूसरा मंत्र दिया है।
कारगिल ने हमें दूसरा मंत्र दिया है। कोई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लेने से पहले हम ये सोचें कि क्या हमारा ये कदम उस सैनिक के सम्मान के अनुरूप है जिसने उन दुर्गम पहाड़ियों में अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी थी।
अपना रक्त बहाकर जिन्होंने सर्वस्व न्योछावर किया, उन शहीदों को, उनको जन्म देने वाली वीर माताओं को भी मैं नमन करता हूं।
Just to see the video clips and especially voiceover, and you can say anchored and the fact by the Prime Minister, just Narendra Bhai Modi, you see the dedication for the country as a Prime Minister, whatever, just spare time for this special message to the nation, to the Bharat, those who are living and outside the Bharat, those who are a Bharatiya and Indian. So now news on the parliamentary affairs, how the parliamentary is going to disrupt by the concern, why and what for. This is also. So I think if I remember January 2011, the leader of opposition that time in Rajya Sabha, Arun Jaitley, had said Parliament job to conduct discussions. But many a time Parliament used by the government to ignore issues. In such situation, obstruction of Parliament is in favor of democracy. Therefore, Parliament obstruction is not undemocratic. Now, same things in by the when BJP is in power and others are in opposition. But back then, after long years, 11 years, the BJP's Congress. BJP that time BJP was opposition, now Congress in the position, others. So always the disruptions are there. The table has turned, and the Congress is accused of causing depression. BJP is blaming it. So this is the politics we can say. Now, last when the Rajya Sabha leader Anand Sharma was there, so it is not correct to say that we are being obstructionist. Opposition doing its duty and the Prime Minister is being undemocratic. But I don't think like that. This is a total responsibility of every parliamentarian, every parliament of the both houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So we should understand what is the duty of the parliamentarian and how today 19, I think I'll tell you, 19 MPs from has been expelled for the week, and really they should not. How they're trying to make the obstacle in the running the house. Why they do it? Why should not this? But this is a really. I'm giving the list. The 7 MPs from the TMC and then DMK. I think 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 from DMK, and from TRS 1, 2, 3 from TRS, then CPM and CPI. So I'm reading the name. Sushmita Dev from the Trinamool Congress, Mausam Noor from TMC, Shanta Chetri TMC, Dola Sen TMC, Santanu Sen TMC, Aviranjan Vishwa TMC, Mohammad Nadimul Haq from the TMC. And from DMK, Muhammad Abdullah and Ravindra Vera, S. Kalyan Sundaram from DMK, R. Giriranjan from DMK, and Elango from DMK, and N. Shanmugam from DMK. And from TRS, Damodar Divakonda, and B. Lengiya Yadav from TRS, and and uh, Ravindra Vadiraju from TRS, and M. A. Rahim from CPM, and P. Shivadasan from CPM, and so Nosh Kumar P. CPI, so and Kanimasi from the also DMK, and VN Somu. So this is all the 19, but this is the but yesterday 4 MPs from the Lok Sabha had been suspended for this week. This is really how they are behaving in the parliament. The behavior as parliament really going to be unparliamentary. Last days we have seen more than 100 words, 62 new words had been declared unparliamentary. They can't use, and whatever last 4-5 years they have compiled the word, and by the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla released all the names, what's name, what is parliamentary or what is unparliamentary. So I think we expect the voters of the country, voters of Bharat expect from the own MPs behave properly and advocate for their causes. But you will find the people's cause in private democracy is going to be down and down and going to be neglected. Why should they are neglecting? They should not, as I think. And this is the role of the MPs and MLA. But I'll talk some of the privileges, and they are misusing the privileges, and exempted from the civil or criminal liability, MPs, MLA, for any statement made or act done inside the house in the course of their duties. If you talking the privilege and immunities, the freedom of speech in the house, which means they cannot be prosecuted for saying or doing anything house. They have the freedom from arrest 40 days prior or after the session of legislature or during the session or from the premises of legislature without the permission of houses. The legislature has the power to regulate the internal affairs that covers the behavior including disruption, vandalism and violence of the house, police and courts can't interfere. However, members can be punished for the breach of privileges by the house itself, what is done, and the punishment including imprisonment, fine or a suspension, but it's on the behest of the chairperson of Rajya Sabha and by the Speaker Lok Sabha. So it is our privilege and immunity is constitutional. I am giving you the tips. Here's the validity of this privilege and immunities flows by Article 105 and 194 of the Constitution. The powers, privilege and immunities of Parliament and its member and committees are laid down in Article 105 of the Constitution of Bharat. Article 194 deals with the same in the case of state legislature, their members and committee. The elected representative can claim their privilege only during the period for which the person is a member of the House. The argument has been that privilege and immunities are necessary to exercising constitutional functions. And what the change now? The change in Supreme Court judgment does not directly deal with the Parliament, but with the state legislatures. And the Supreme Court recently elected representative could go longer, go scot-free of facts of vandalism and violence committed inside the House, claiming immunity provided under the Constitution. Earlier, Supreme Court judgment takes away the protection of privileges and immunities, making elected representative liable for prescription for their acts. The case relates to the criminal prosecution about 6 members of the LDF, currently that ruling in the Kerala. So the records in the Kerala Assembly 2015, and they have moved to withdraw the cases against the member of the CPIM, CPM, and leading ruling council. So there is so many significance also. So this is a matter of long discussion, but what is the scale of disruption? Why and what for? So according to, if you see the PRS research report says during the 15th Lok Sabha, 2019 to 14, frequent discussion parliament proceeding has resulted in Lok Sabha for 61% and Rajya Sabha for 66% scheduled time. And 16th Lok Sabha, 2014 to 19, lost 16% scheduled time to disruption, better than the 15th Lok Sabha, 37%, but worse than 14th Lok Sabha, 13%. And Rajya Sabha lost 36% of scheduled time, and the 15th and 14th Lok Sabha, they've had the lost 32% and 14% scheduled time respectively. So many instances are there, and I think this instance should not be. They should be responsible for the voters who elect the same them for the cause of themselves. but they are sorry, they are not doing the real duty for the sake of the voters, for the sake of public, for the sake of the democracy. So this is a really matter of concern, and how the budget session is disturbing, how the just you are talking about the observation by the pending cases like that, decline the productivity of parliament impairs also, behaviors also. There is a ethics committee in the both houses, but how they are working and not is also matter of concern for every country person, every. So I think so. We understand we should do how we do. So I think this is also matter of concern. So how disruption is there. So and data I will told you, and the reason for disruption the just to further highlight, and it is also observed after 1992 when the live telecast started for the parliament proceeding. So many disruption just to show themselves on camera to send the message to the public how we are active parliament against the government. When I just, I think 91 to 96, I was just interviewed Mr. Sivraj Patil, then the Speaker Lok Sabha. So he has also made a concern with the points. So we have to understand how to balance the discipline in the House, this duty of the Chairman Raj Sabha as well as the Speaker Lok Sabha. So the both have to be responsible for that. For the running of the House smoothly, there is a Business Advisory Committee, BAC, but I think nowadays in the BAC, not the consensus issues has been discussed as I think, as I presume. That's why House is not running properly. So for the proper running the House, we should understand how House should be run, and how it should be really done for the in the interest of public, for the sake of public, and for a private democracy. So everyone to understand, every parliamentarian should understand, and who was running the House, who was the chief of the House, they should also understand how should be run smoothly. And but I also appeal to the member of parliament of the all parties. They should not behave like going to well. They can speak out that. Recently, Prahlad Joshi, in a parliamentary affairs minister, all the appeal to all the members of opposition. So whatever you want to discuss, please come in house and discuss. Why you are just keeping outside of the discussion? So I think this is a failure of the parliamentary affairs minister, either Prahlad Joshi, whoever, who are not trying to properly handle the show for the interest of the public, for the interest of the nation. This matter should be reviewed accordingly, as I think. Thank you very much. So nice of you, and Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.